Hello, this video is to explain how to add screen flows to actions. Up to now, we've only been able to add auto launch flows, which perform flows in the background. And now we're going to be adding screen flows to that so that we can select particular records and then push those record IDs to a particular flow. So to get started, what we're going to do is we're going to build a very simple flow. I went in and I created a test flow that you can see. It is a screen flow. And we have the flow right here. And all the flow does is it takes the variables that are incoming and it performs an assignment. And all it's doing in that assignment is it's taking the record count and it's putting it into a variable so that we can display that count as well as the variables themselves. Now the incoming variable, you will notice here it is, it's called record IDs. It's absolutely critical that any flow that wants to use Simpli list views must have a collection variable called record IDs, which is a string, and it is a collection variable. Okay, so and that's very important. And if I edit this, you'll see here that it is available for input and output. I'm not quite sure if output's necessary, but definitely available for input. And then we allow multiple values over here, absolutely critical, so that as we come into the flow, the values from Simpli list views gets pushed into that collection. So what we do here, just to quickly show you, is we take the count. We have a count variable, and we take the record IDs and we take the count of those record IDs, stick them into this count, just as a little display so that we can see that things are actually working. And then in the screen flow, what we do is, it's being displayed. There it is. It is going to show the count of the number of record IDs coming in, as well as the record IDs themselves. Okay. So we have that flow. The next thing, once you've built the flow, is to add an action record. And I've already added an action record here. You can see I've called it screen flow example. And the Apex class name is going to be list view action flow. And then what's really important here, and the new changes, is that we've identified that this is a flow. We're giving it the flow API name. And so how we get that name is we go into the properties of the flow right here. And there is the flow API name over there. So we stick that in. We identify the flow type. This is very important because we have two types right now. We have screen flow or auto launched flow. In this particular case, it's a screen flow. And then we can set the frame height of the flow. So what's going to happen is that we're going to be opening up a modal dialog to display the flow. And so we can set the height of the frame before it gets displayed. So once all that information has been provided, assuming that your object type, permissions, everything are working correctly. You can see how there is no object type, so it's going to be available to all objects. We could obviously, depending on the flow, if it was specific to contacts, for instance, we could set their contact. But anyway, so now we go into our classic everything example. Refresh the page. Allow our list view to be displayed. This one is automatically pinned, and you can see here that we have 6 rows. So if we go to the actions here, we can see screen flow example. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select, let's say, 5 of the IDs, and then I'm going to click on screen flow example. And what's going to happen is that the screen flow is going to open up. It opens up in an iframe, which might or might not be important for some people. But there the test flow gets started. You can see that the record count is 5, There you can see all of the record IDs, which allows us then to move forward in the flow and perform actions on those particular records. And then, of course, one of the things that happens here is there is a finish button. And when I click finish, specific to finish, the value that gets returned to the Simpli List view is finished. It's the actual text message, all caps, finished. And that's important because when you click finish, it tells us that we want to close the modal dialog and that we want to refresh the page, and then we want to display it again. So there we have a screen flow. I'm not as familiar with flows, and so it could be the case that there are certain parts of the flows that I haven't focused on, maybe the look and feel, like the look and feel, or certain things like that. This is the only way that you're able to open up a flow. The idea is that you run a flow based on selected records. That's the idea of list views, is that you select records and then you do stuff based on those records. So there we go. If you have any questions. Oh, and of course, we do have the automated flows as well. And of course, I've already given a video on that, but if we were to select a whole bunch of record IDs, we could click on the auto launch flow, and then it just says, do you want to launch the flow with all the record information. We click process, things process in the background, and the flow is successfully started, and everything comes back normal. So there we go with screen flows. It's exciting, it's new. Please give it a go, try it out. Let me know if you have any issues, and that's it for now.